Good morning, YouTube. This is Mochismo Eugene, and just coming up for about 15 minutes, maybe before the kids go to school, and just want to talk about, um, just basically how a narcissist comes into your life and tries to engage with you, and basically just sharing with you how the best thing for us to do is disengage. The sooner the better, because in the narcissist world, it's all about manipulation, and it can be anyone from Hollywood um, directors getting potential actors and actresses to sign on a dotted line, promising them the world, and then sitting back and watching their career get tarnished. And on a lower scale, just regular everyday human being, you could be walking around uh, ramping and raving about a job you got, bragging on your boss, all the things that he's going to give you, the promotions and whatnot. And somehow or another, all those things they dissipate. Uh, so just, put yourself in either one of those situations. I'm sure at some point in life, we all can relate to some of this stuff that's happening. And this is when you're awakened as an empath or chosen one, some of us like to say. Once you're awakened out of a narcissistic abusive relationship, you can actually begin to disengage, because first of all, you're aware of what's going on, and it just seems and it looks so familiar, like a deja vu type moment, and you'll be able to readily identify, even though you might not have all the pieces to the puzzle, it'll automatically jump out at you. And just like engaging and disengaging with any relationship, you got to kind of do what Kenny Rogers said in his movie. You got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And that's a learning curve each and every one of us has to adopt into our life. Not only just in life in general, but when you're awakened, you don't automatically see everything you need to see, but you begin to see things a lot clearer and a lot sooner. And so, just a little side note, there's a tragedy down in Queens, New York, of a beautiful young lady that got stabbed over 58 times and put in a duffel bag and left in the woods a half a mile from her house. And just disturbing. And I was going to make a video about it, and I'm glad I didn't, because it's always good to reserve some opinions about certain things, because me particularly, I was looking at someone in her family as being the culprit. And I'm not going to get into detail about why I felt that way. It was because of certain information that I had. So now they've excused him from being a suspect, but that doesn't automatically mean that he's exonerated altogether. So we'll just see how that unfolds. But my prayers are out to her kids, family, loved ones, and friends, because this is tragedy, man. This is real sad, and these things are going to keep happening, unfortunately, because we're living in a dark time, and we've always lived in dark times. We're just more aware of it, especially because we get the news so fast and so rapid. So that's where my heart's at today. But back to the video. I was thinking of something else too, because there's a lot of stuff goes through our minds as empaths, awakened ones, as we progress, finally begin to progress in our life, and we're looking at times past where we used and utilized and exerted so much energy in doing things that were futile, things that were just superficial in a way, for most and foremost for the narcissist. And we are exasperated because we're doing these things for people who really, undeserving is an understatement. They are not putting in any effort. They give an illusion that they're exchanging the energy and the effort. And they've really not mastered the art of of equal exchange. They've mastered the art of giving you the illusion that they're in it with you. So when you get to the point where you're awakened, you kind of like see things through a lens of, man, now what can I do to serve me first and foremost and the people who I love? But me first and foremost, because if I'm not healthy, I can't even provide for my children or my significant other. Say if the narcissist is a mother or father or in-laws, no matter the abuse, it could be in the home or outside of the home, it all equals up to the same thing. You have to find your way back to you. And so it's about I woke up in 2020, roughly around January, February. But I was awakening in 2019. And 2020, eyes wide open. This is kind of like 2 years behind me. And I'm focusing more now, I see, on me and really just observing my children to see if there's something that I need to do to better serve them in a way that they can be solid and remain sane. And I'm also looking at cues and stuff, nonchalantly that may be problematic in the sense that, I do share them with their mom. There are things that I'm very concerned about, to which I won't get into detail about, but they're just their mental management, because you can see things, and you don't want to rush to judgment on anything, but you do want to be vigilant and see these things as they unfold and figure out, by way of educating yourself in the knowledge of psychological manipulation of all sorts, and how it is affecting your children, how they're being influenced by manipulation, be it could be someone in school, it could be a friend, it could be the other parent, the other caregiver, the other grandma, grandfather. So when you see these things unfolding, it is kind of like a moment where you have to regroup and reassess you, and then say, man, how can I serve my children to help them understand what I see and what I know in a real practical, age appropriate way. And I just think that's the most important thing for me right now. I aspired to put videos out. In the beginning, my desire was to do one a day. I got to seeing all the YouTubers on here doing that. I've since I wanted to do one a week, and on and on and on. It ends up being, I'm on here occasionally. A lot of times I should write down the title of what I want to talk about, the topic, to which I don't, because my focus seems to be swayed away from that more than not onto family. Because I see myself as I see that as being the most important thing for me. And it reminds me of a story in the Bible with Eli. And that's always at the back of my brain, or the forefront of my brain. I'm saying to myself, wow, Eli was a priest in the church, but his downfall was he was always there for the church, but he neglected in the role of father in his home. And if you read the story in the Bible, Eli neglected the fundamentals of family in a pursuit of trying to reach the masses. And I'm just saying this to say, there's some balance that I know for me I have to have in perspective before I can go on to actually challenge myself to be a help to the masses. And even without knowing it, we as empath and awakened ones, we are being a benefit to the masses. May not be on a grand scale, but just being awakened and giving little tidbits to people in little small ways of what they may or may not be dealing with by way of these illusions. Just sharing a little nuggets of knowledge and information You may meet somebody in a grocery store and they share with you they're going through something. And I'm sure some empaths here have had this experience. I have anyway. I've had people, total strangers, start just sharing a story with me, their whole life or their whole life experience by way of something that happened personal that and then they catch themselves saying, man, I don't know why I'm even telling you this. I don't even know you. And I know you may say, well, okay, they're probably just trying to garner sympathy and lure you in. They may be a narcissist. Well, when you're awakened, you can readily detect that in some ways. But the empathy in us is not going to not cause us to listen to someone's story. But my point today is in the way that these people approach me and they begin to talk, it's like a release. They need to release this. And I'm always kind of taken back, and I'm kind of flattered by it. Praises to God, because if you're used in that capacity, you got to say it's nothing to do with you. It's just the energy that you possess, which in essence we think has to do with us, but it is just is the energy that's been given to you by the Creator. So if you have that gift, that's a big sign that you know your purpose is where it's supposed to be, and it is what it's supposed to be. So I guess in all, I'm saying if you're where you're at and you're being effective in the capacity you're at, that is a good starting point. Then if you aspire to do something additional outside of family and focus it on you, then so be it. But for me, that's the balance I'm trying to strike that balance in my life, so I can better be able to serve the masses. Because being alone, I love it. I don't have a problem finding things to do. It's just a matter of me doing them, because there's never enough time in a day. And I've found myself a lot of times I'm just taking time to do nothing, just to be able to just allow things to resonate with me that I've already discovered. Just continue to evaluate certain options in life, because the summer is almost about to be here. We got snow the other day. I guess it's going to be the last snow storm, if you will, before the weather breaks for the better. So there are going to be people out in grand style. So just be wary of a lot of manipulation and people trying to secure supply and different things, because that's what the narcissist does. While all you well-meaning people are out there just trying to just enjoy life and the camaraderie of just getting to know people in a good way, form healthy bonds, healthy friendships. That's not everyone's intention. And I'll tell you this, don't go hard trying to find friendship and companionship. You got a lifetime to do so, and whatever your age is. When I say a lifetime, that could be a patient endeavor, because the years, the months, the days that you squandered with narcissists, which in essence weren't squandered, but you get my point, wasted on them, it benefited you in the long run. So if it takes you a month, 2 months, or a year, 2 years to find or discover what you've been searching for most of your life in companionship, I think it'll be worth it. Just take your time to take time. Because the most important thing at the end of the day is the you that's healthy, the you that's even holier than you were before. If you believe in God like I do, get into a holier place to know God in a real way, instead of a superficial way of going to church, coming home, feeling good about yourself. Just know that, knowing God is a humbling thing, and it's not to be taken for granted. It's no bragging rights that we should have because we know God. And to know God, I guess, is probably, in my opinion, is a bigger responsibility than someone who doesn't know God, because they don't have anything they have to uphold. They don't have any kind of accountabilities that they have to recognize. And so, but it's a beautiful thing too. So just realize that, and if you are alone and you're feeling lonely, that's an emotion. It's perfectly healthy to feel that way, because that means that you yearn for someone or something by way of a relationship. And God gave you that. He gave you that yearning, but in how you pursue it is the big difference. So just engage with people, but know when to disengage. Is, I guess, the premise of this video, because you don't know that on the other side of that, you can become collateral damage if you don't see the things that you should be noticing in the beginnings. And it's so easy to get comfortable in a relationship or friendship or even a job relationship, and just to think the best, and you can see everything for the good, and you don't notice that there's obviously signs of negative energy that you need to be mindful of. You don't want to regret over and over again for things that you already knew you should have been paying attention to. So with that being said, you guys gather from this video what you will. Bless.